I've got some other case studies I want to share with you guys as well. So what if you've already bought your own home and you're living in your own home and you're just like slugging away at your mortgage? I've got some news for you, ladies and gents. You're stuck in what's called the 30-year mortgage trap.
And this is what mum and dad did.
Correct.
Like, this is normal. This is, if you're a product of your environment and you've seen mum and dad buy the house, start slogging away, and you know what? By 30 years time, it's all paid off and no one can take it away from them, right?
Yeah.
That is the old way of thinking about property.
Did you know that the term mortgage, look it up, is French for death pledge? You pledge to take care of that mortgage and pay all that money back until you die, effectively. So it's really important. So I guess, yeah, the key thing here is, so how do you escape or avoid the 30-year mortgage trap? So say you got a $400,000 home loan, and that's like the average home loan across Australia right now. Some are more, some are less, whatever else. And it's going to take you, and say you've only recently, moved in your own home, or you say you moved into it a couple of years ago, now you've only got 28 years to go on your mortgage. That sounds pretty cool, right? Now we've just averaged it out over 4.5%. I know interest rates for an own home are like 2.5% at the moment, but you know what? Over a 30-year period, it's never been this low, and over that sort of 30-year period, we want to be as realistic as possible. Fast forward, did you know that it's going to cost you $729,000 to pay off your $400,000 home loan? That might be like gulp. You're like, oh fuck, how do I avoid that as soon as I possibly can? And that, as sort of Dan was saying before, and then you're living in your own home over there, no one can take it from you. Good, big deal. But at the end of the day, all your money's in your house. This is not like Dilly where you can go down and knock a couple of bricks out of the side of the house and then sell them down the flea market for $20 and feed your family for the week. All your money's in your house. I'm like, big deal, you paid off your own home. I want to show you a different way about how you can avoid the 30-year mortgage trap. So if you've got some equity in that property and you're not using it, it's called lazy equity. A little bit like a malingerer going to work, right? Doesn't ever want to go bush all the time. Oh, I got a fucking sore leg. So he just goes down the RAP. Lazy equity is not helping anybody. So you can grab that equity and go and use it as a deposit and cost and go and buy your first investment property. Now, what does that investment property look like? It's going to buy that property in the #1 place in Australia that suits your circumstances, as we've already gone through. It's going to have a rent return and a tax return. It's going to be a self-licking ice cream, going to take care of itself. You then sit on that property for about 3 years, and then that property goes up in value, and then you go and repeat the cycle. Buy your second investment property, #1 place in Australia that suits that circumstances, because we're like, 3 or 4 or 5 years down the track here. That's all you need to do. We're not like one of these firms there where like 1 becomes 2 and 2 becomes 4 and 4 becomes 8 and 8 becomes 16, as I mimic the fuck out of all those other idiots that do that.
The house of cards, mate. Yeah. If one falls out, the whole thing comes.
Yeah, correct. Like, you don't have to buy 16 properties to be successful in property, right? You just need to be able to, like, what we're trying to do here is make sure you can avoid the 30-year mortgage trap.
Because that already puts you in the top 1.5%, as we spoke about earlier, right?
Own home and 2 properties.
Exactly right.
So good.
Top 1.5% there. So it doesn't need to go crazy.
So that's all you do, and just sit on that for the next 10 years. So it's not that big a deal, right? If you've got some equity in your own home, you're not using it, it's lazy.
Yeah.
When that equity appears, go buy your first property, sit on that for 3 years, and go buy 1 more. That's not that big a deal. I'd like you to concede that, right? Fast forward 10 years, when you buy in the right areas, like all those things we've already spoken about, 7 ingredients, brand new land and build, right finance structure, etc., etc., those properties only have to go up in value by an average of about 3% compounding